It is 9:19. Indianapolis Colts may have doomed their own playoff chances with some mile-high mistakes. Our Colts contributor Heather Lloyd is here, so close to wearing the victory blazer. Instead, you're mourning not just the loss, but likely the end of postseason hopes.
So close, but so close early in the game.
Yeah.
Then as the game went on, it got farther and farther away. I mean, it's sad, too, because the Colts knew how important this game was. They talked about it all week long. After coming off a bye week, they actually had 2 weeks to prepare for it. In the first quarter, it looked like the Colts were ready to dominate. But unfortunately for them, football is a fourth-quarter game. Anthony Richardson's accuracy took a dip in the second quarter, but they still went into halftime up 13-7. But then came the third quarter, and everything went downhill, starting with this play. Jonathan Taylor takes a 40-yard run into the end zone for a touchdown. But in a mind-blowing turn of events, he drops the football just before crossing the goal line. We see this happen in college sometimes, even in the NFL with rookie players. They start to showboat before they're actually over the line. The fact that this was a star veteran player and team captain just makes it all the more shocking. I don't know if he was celebrating or if he just dropped it. He couldn't really explain it himself. All Taylor said afterwards was that it can't happen. But it did happen.
I keep hoping every time we watch it, he's going to hold on to it.
The Colts lost. They now sit at 6-8 for the season. It happened.
I mean, if you're going to do that, at least have a good touchdown. It wasn't even a good touchdown celebration.
Listen, as they were pointing out on talk radio this morning, have you ever seen Jonathan Taylor even celebrate a touchdown? No, he doesn't celebrate. He just goes and does his job. And he never does this.
It looked like he was tripping and falling.
Just
a comedy of errors at the 1-inch line. Anyway, so, it didn't happen. It did not happen. And you and I were talking over the break. The defense actually did okay that next series, but the offense, they just could not get it going after that. All of that happened.
It's really unfortunate because the defense went out there and really they arguably played their best game of the season. They really did. I mean, the defense were out there. They kept making play after play, and no matter how bad things went, they got out there and got it done. You know what I think, though? This game is really a bigger symptom because, to me, this sort of shows what's happened all year long, which is a general lack of discipline, a lack of focus. They can't get everything going at the same time. It's either the offense or it's the defense. They can't do both. So all in all, this wasn't a one-game fluke. This was really the Colts not being a complete team, not executing as a complete team, and this is what they've done all year long. So let's talk about the fact that
was it the offense, the defense, right? Wasn't terrible?
No, the defense went out there and they did their job. The offense got to, you've got the Jonathan Taylor play. After that, the Broncos are several plays here. The Broncos go and rack up a bunch of points. It turned the whole game. As the Broncos are going out here and scoring all these points, suddenly now the Colts get out there and they have one opportunity to do something.
Right.
They try a play with A.D. Mitchell and Anthony Richardson out on the field. And it's that you could argue what was a worse play, Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball or this play where Anthony Richardson goes, tosses the ball to A.D. Mitchell, who shockingly catches it, right?
Oh, wow.
And then throws the ball back to Anthony Richardson, only it doesn't actually reach Anthony Richardson because it's intercepted on the way.
All right.
So, again, symptomatic of too cute, unnecessary, too risky. There was just no need for this play, but they threw it in there. Shane Steichen said it worked in practice.
I bet it did.
So, again.
So going into the game, I think the odds makers had it like at a 30% chance the Colts were going to make the playoffs. We've got to be single digits chances now, right?
Okay, I'm not smart enough to do the math, but the people that are smart enough to do the math tell me that we're now anywhere from 7% to 13%. So
wow, so it's actually double digits.
Yeah, the Colts had a chance. This was really, they had to win this game. They had to keep winning the rest of the games. Because they lost this game, now you're sitting in a situation where a whole bunch of things are going to happen. You're going to have to win the next 3 games, and then you're going to need other stuff to also happen. So if the Chargers lose 2 of their next games, you win 3 of your next games, you're going to have to be asking Santa for gifts. You're going to be praying.
They've been on the naughty list. That's
You're
the
going to
issue.
be pulling out all your
On
lucky
the naughty
stuff.
list.
The bottom line is really the Colts went from just win to, do you know anyone who casts spells?
Oh,
because
man.
you're going to need to cast a spell on Justin Herbert to make sure they lose 2 of their
Lose
next
that.
games, and you're going to have to go out and win the rest of them.
Well, okay.
Cast spells.
And trying to be optimistic, I mean, listen, the next 3 games that you do have are quite favorable if you are a Colts fan.
Hey, I mean, now you've got 3 teams with losing records coming
Right.
up. So you're going to have to beat the Titans,
Yep.
the Giants, and the Jaguars. And by the way, even if you win all those 3 games, I'm not going to be impressed. I mean, you're not going to impress me by winning these games. But if you have a chance and you want to make the playoffs, you're going to have to win these games. You're going to have the Chargers lose 2 games, and you're going to have to hope the cards just fall your way.
Well, and the other
so
thing
you don't
is
control your destiny
that we
anymore.
didn't mention, with that loss, the Houston Texans are now back-to-back AFC South champs. And we've talked about this, but I think it's an interesting stat to bring up. In the, 10 years that Chris Ballard has been a GM, every team in the AFC South has won the division twice.
Except for?
Indianapolis hasn't even done it once.
Exactly.
Oh.
So,
So-
yeah, congratulations to the Texans. 2 years in a row now, AFC South champions. 3 games to go still, and you're not even fighting it out to win the division.
Right.
It's over. I mean, so again, it's just disappointing.
Yep.
But here we are. And you know, I would like to say I'm shocked, but just the way this season has gone and just the general feeling of a lack of focus, a lack of discipline, a lack of so many things that we've seen, a lack of leadership, even from your best players. It's not shocking, but it's really disappointing, especially in this game where it all came down to this game.
Oh, and there was so much hope. First half, it was like, yeah,
Oh,
those Colts
the
can
first
lose.
quarter looked fantastic.
And you kept giving them
Yes.
chances, and they wouldn't take it. You know, Knicks was throwing
know.
interceptions, and then finally just the dam broke. And
Yeah, in the third quarter, it was like no one wanted the ball, no one wanted to win the game.
That's right.
And yeah, and then the Jonathan Taylor play sort of was the beginning of the unraveling of all of it. So.
And Heather will join us next week with more bright sides of the Colts disappointments. We'll take a timeout. Top stories right after this.